Next up on WTV, The Wonder Years Reboot, an interview with the star of the original Wonder Years, Fred Savage, and the Dream Interview Project. WTV's Daily Update starts now. Hey there, Red Hawk Nation. Today is Wednesday, September 22nd, and I'm Cooper Ragle, today's Daily Update, brought to you by Wingspan TV. Reboots of movies and TV shows isn't anything new. Tonight is the debut of another reboot, The Wonder Years. This is a remake of one of the most popular shows of the late 1980s and early 1990s. WTV's Karina Grohoskaya talked with teachers about the original and what they think about the reboot.
I remember watching it probably at the age about 5 through 7. I remember it just kind of being a coming of age story where you get to see this boy go from a boy to a younger man and all of the trials and mild atrocities that come with teenage years.
The Wonder Years was a show that followed the life of a teenage boy named Kevin Arnold, played by Fred Savage, living in the late 60s and early 70s. Unlike most sitcoms on TV back then, The Wonder Years covered many different and serious topics, including the Vietnam War and civil rights. Now, ABC is rebooting this sitcom, but with a new and potentially impactful twist. The original followed a stereotypical white family in America, while the reboot will follow a black family and their experiences living in the late 60s.
And now we're going to see it from a different lens that really hasn't been on television before, the lens of a black middle-class family from the 1960s and 70s. And so I'm really excited to see how that kind of shapes the narrative and the perspective and just the viewing.
The reboot of Wonder Years premieres tonight on ABC at 7:30. Reporting for WTV, I'm Karina Grohoskaya.
The main character in the original Wonder Years is Kevin Arnold, played by actor Fred Savage. Savage is also directing tonight's premiere episode of the reboot, and Wingspan's Emily Thomas caught up with Savage in a Zoom interview.
Hello, Mr. Savage. How are you?
How's it going, Emily? Are you at school right now?
I am at school, yes. So I'm a reporter for our high school newspaper, and our teacher wanted us to try and get an interview with, one of our biggest inspirations. So I thought I would reach out. I'm a little nervous, so.
I'll tell you, I'm so flattered. That's so nice. I can't believe this works out. Every once in a while, like, social media is like kind of cool. So I saw your thing and I was so impressed by your reaching out, and so I'm so glad it worked out. And congrats to you for reaching out, reaching out to my assistant, working it out with her. It's my pleasure. Don't be nervous. You're doing great.
Well, thank
you. Tell me how can I help?
So my first question is, the reboot of The Wonder Years is set to debut later this month. How do you feel about this, and how did you get involved in it?
We have been working on this since, I think I first sat down with Celadine, who is the writer who created this new version of The Wonder Years. We sat down together in like January of 2020, like right before everything just went crazy. So we've been working on it for like about a year and a half. And the fact that it's finally here and out and we can share it with people, it's incredibly gratifying. It just represents so much work and just passion and hurdles and obstacles to overcome. So I'm incredibly excited it's going to be premiering.
Well, that's awesome. I'm very excited to watch the reboot. So my next question is, I wanted to ask what your relationships are like with the cast of the Wonder Years actors and actresses are today.
Actually, one of the nice kind of byproducts of doing this again now is that I reached out to them. Because so we've always kind of stayed connected in some way or another, checking in a few times a year, or like Josh, who plays Paul on the original. He lives in New York, so when I'm in New York, I'll reach out. Or he's in LA, he'll say hi. So we've definitely stayed in touch over the years. But one of the nice byproducts of this, doing the show again, is it's brought us back into each other's orbit in a more regular way, and that's really been a nice kind of a nice result.
Yeah, that is good. Okay, what was life as a child star like, and what lasting effects has it had on you?
I really enjoyed it. I had a really positive experience. And I feel very fortunate for that, because I know that's not always the case, you know, with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But what it was like, I mean, for me, it was totally normal. Like, I didn't live like a big star life. I didn't live this crazy Hollywood lifestyle. I had regular friends. I went to a regular school. I just, you know, would go to work each day. That was kind of like, you know, I'm sure all your friends like have a thing. Someone's a track star, and someone's on the debate team, and someone is in the dance company or whatever.
Yeah.
That was just the thing that I did. And so for me, it was very normal.
Yeah.
I mean, lasting effects. I mean, the biggest lasting effect is probably like my career in entertainment. Like it gave me an entree into a field that I found I really loved and really enjoyed. And so, you know, I mean, I might be too, I don't know if there's any lasting psychological or emotional damage, but I think that for the most part, it was really positive, and it gave me this like entree into this new career that I really love and enjoy.
Getting that interview wasn't something Thomas thought of when the year started. Instead, it was something of a homework assignment. WTV's Kirthi Gumati explains.
Looking for a way to bring a new energy to the Wingspan newsroom, advisor Brian Higgins turned to something random.
I was sitting at home and trying to think of things to do for Wingspan that were a little bit different, and I just thought of an idea of like, why don't we reach out and try to get some big time interviews? And so I made that a class project. So I told students they had to give me a list of 5 people alive that they would love to interview.
At first it was just something that I thought was a fun way to figure out why we have the role models that we have or why we look up to certain people.
But it turned out to be more than that, as the staff was told they had to reach out to the people on their list and try to get an interview.
It was definitely really nerve-wracking because these are famous people. Like they don't really talk to everyday people like me, and I was kind of nervous about if they would respond at all, what they would say if they did respond, things like that.
I didn't really think much was going to come out of it. I thought it was kind of silly because who thinks they're going to get a response from a celebrity?
But these 3 did get responses, with Thomas the first to do her interview.
I reached out to Fred Savage, who's an actor. He responded to me, and I got to do an interview with him, which was really cool. He was really nice, and it was a really awesome experience.
For Higgins, the project wasn't about getting interviews. It was about something beyond the Wingspan newsroom.
The whole goal of the lesson, the idea was to not be afraid of anything. You're going to get rejected in life. We're all going to get rejected in life, but it never hurts, more likely than not. It never hurts to ask something. All they can do is say no, and if we get something, even better.
I feel like I learned kind of just to get out there and take maybe not so much risks, but like just putting yourself out there and not being scared to reach out to famous people or people that you don't know and that you don't think that you'd ever talk to, because you never know what'll happen.
Reporting for WTV, I'm Kirthi Gumati.
Sticking with the reboot theme of today's show, here's Kate Graham with this week's edition of Real Talk.
Hey Redhawks, it's WTV's Kate Graham with this week's edition of Real Talk. This week we'll be asking students about old TV shows. What's your favorite TV show?
Rick and Morty is my favorite show.
Rick and Morty.
My favorite show is Power. What TV show do you want to see rebooted?
Zeke and Luther.
Like Gravity Falls.
I don't care if it's rebooted, but I want Pretty Little Liars to change the ending. Why do you want to see it rebooted?
I don't know, I just want to like remember it again and like watch it. It was a pretty dope show.
It ended on a big cliffhanger.
Because no one knew Spencer had a sister. I was like out of left field, you know what I'm saying? Reporting for WTV, I'm Kate Graham.
If you're looking for more from Wingspan, you can follow us at Liberty Wingspan on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our award-winning website, libertywingspan.com. And now for today's announcements. CareWiki is holding a drive to collect items for those affected by Hurricane Ida. This will run until the 29th, and there's a donation box in the rotunda. Philosophy Club is having a meeting during advisory tomorrow in Mr. Doty's room, C145. You can sign up for the remind by texting Phil LHS21 to 81010. That's it for today's daily update. This is Cooper Ragle for Wingspan TV.